Welcome back, friends and family. In this video, we start on our next big adventure. And our adventure begins with us hopping on an airplane and flying from Phoenix to Tampa Bay, Florida, where we plan on looking at several boats to purchase. So what are we looking for in a boat? Well, first off, it must have a full keel or skeg-hung rudder. This is for comfort and stability while sailing. Second, it has to have lots of storage in the galley because Terry is a chef and she plans on doing lots of cooking with all the fresh ingredients we'll be finding along the way. Next, it has to have a separate shower or a way to close off the shower area. Once again, this is one of Terry's preferences because she doesn't want to have water splattering all over the place and having to wipe everything down every time you use the head. And lastly, it must fit within our budget. So let's take a look at the first candidate up for viewing.
Love the woodwork though.
Yeah.
It's just gorgeous woodwork.
Yeah.
Our first boat to look at is the Ta Shing Panda 38. The Panda 38 is a Robert Perry and Gary Grant design with a long full keel, and it has a length overall of 37.6 feet, a length at the waterline of 31.5 feet, and a beam of 12 feet, not to mention a draft of 5 3/4 feet. The Panda 38 was first produced in 1982, and according to Sailboat Database, there were 30 made. Boats coming out of Taiwan at this time were known for very intricate and beautiful woodwork down below. This Panda 38 is no exception. It had a galley to port configuration with a forward V-berth and a large head and shower. This Panda 38 was very beautiful and well cared for. There were a few things that I didn't like about this boat, but were doable. The first was the engine access. It was very difficult to get to anything on the engine. Plus, it had the V-drive transmission, which I am not a super fan of. The head, on the other hand, was a pretty good sized head with a very large shower. The galley was quite tiny and was very limited on storage. The V-berth was quite wide due to the beam being carried forward on this model vessel. So let's go to the wish list and see if it met any of the items we wanted. So, how should we apply the Baba 38 to our list of priorities in a boat? Well, let's tackle the first one. It must have a full keel or skeg-hung rudder. The Baba 38 falls into that category, being a long-keeled boat. So yes, we can check mark off on that one. The next category is that it has to have a lot of storage in the galley. This one, the boat fell short on. It's a beautiful galley, but there just isn't a whole lot of storage for Terry's pots and pans. The next category is that it has to have a separate shower or a way to close off the shower area. This one, we'll give that a check mark. The head in this boat was very big, very beautiful, plenty of standing room to shower and move about. Matter of fact, I bet Terry and I could both get in the shower together. The last category, it must be within our budget. Now, I'm not specifically going to give some numbers out as to what our budget is, but this boat was in the upper end of our budget at $139,000. Was it in our budget? Yes, but at the very upper end of our budget and doesn't leave a lot of money left over for refit costs. In review of the Ta Shing Panda 38, or as I've been calling it, the Baba 38, either one I've seen noted as being correct, but I think the proper term is the Panda 38. This boat is a very beautiful boat, and for the right person, this boat will take them around the world. There were some things up on deck that are normal for this age of boat that would have to be dealt with, such as the teak decks need to be either redone or just sanded back and recocked, but they definitely needed some attention. There was also some attention needed to the stitching in the sails, as well as the bright work around the hatches and all that. Even though it was covered and well taken care of, it's just one of those things you have to do with a boat like this. It's one of those maintenance costs. This boat would also be perfect for a single person or a young couple with not a lot of possessions, or that, unlike Terry and I, have a lot of toys that like to carry along with us. This boat we don't feel was the right boat for us. So it's time to move on to the next boat. After viewing the Panda 38, we hopped in the car and followed the broker over to another boat that she wanted to show us. This boat was an Island Packet 37. The Island Packet 37s were first built in 1994 and ran until 1998, with 60 being produced. The Island Packet 37 has a long keel. The length overall on these vessels are 38.5 feet, with a length at water line at 31 feet and a beam at a little over 12 feet. The draft on this vessel was 4.5 feet. And with a draft like that, it's perfect for the Florida waters and the Bahamas. And much like the Panda 38, the Island Packet 37 also has a standalone shower, which I neglected to film, but we did go in and take a look at it. Also, it did have a nice wide V-berth because, once again, the beam is carried further forward on the boat. A positive side to this boat compared to the Panda 38 is it had a full transom as opposed to the Panda 38, which had a canoe stern. This allows for more storage in the aft of the vessel. Another positive to the Island Packet design is the copious amounts of storage and the addition of an additional cabin in the aft of the boat.
The Island Packet from the cockpit forward. So the galley, it has refrigeration, it has a freezer on one side, and then it spills over to the other side. So it's a spillover configuration. 3-burner stove. Then you have your 3/4 sink and quarter sink, which is nice. Yep. All right. Another thing to note: access to the engine is from 3 areas. So engine access is in the galley, the aft cabin, and then you remove the steps and you can access the front, which is, so that is unusual.
So what are our concluding thoughts to this Island Packet 37? Well, it does meet the criteria of having a full keel. It does have a shower that is separate from the head area, which is always a nice thing. This shower was a little bit smaller than the Panda 38, but it was still a shower that I could stand up in and shower in. And although it did fall within our budget, it was still on the high end of our budget. It wouldn't leave much left for refit costs. The galley storage, well, I was pretty positive that Terry would like it. It didn't meet all of her needs because she found it lacking for storage for large pots and pans. So overall, with the Island Packet 37, we're going to have to pass on this one. Well, that's it for this video. In our next video, we go look at some other boats, the Hans Christian 43 and a Coronado 45 and a Nautical Offshore 40, I believe. So stay tuned for that. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and that little bell to be notified when that video is released. And if you've enjoyed this video, remember to hit that like button and go ahead and leave a comment down below. As always, thanks for watching.